Maybe you don't even have that much of a belly, but wearing the wrong pants will make it look like there's volume where there isn't. The problem isn't your body, it's the style of pants that works against you instead of for you. There are specific cuts that visually add volume to the abdominal area, and most women wear these styles every day without understanding why they never feel good in those pants. Today, I'll show you exactly which styles you should avoid if you don't want to feel fat. 1. Pants with elastic waistbands. An elastic waistband seems like the perfect solution for comfort, but it's one of the biggest culprits when it comes to a visible belly. This applies to almost any type of pants: sweatpants, joggers, leggings, pajama pants, and even some casual fabric trousers. The problem happens on 3 different levels, and all of them work against you. First, the elastic creates a horizontal compression line exactly at the widest part of your abdomen. When you have a band tightening around your waist, it compresses the skin and pushes the body's flesh up and down from that point, creating volume where there often isn't any. It's the infamous muffin top effect, that little spillover that appears above your pants, even on slim women. Second, elastic waistbands rarely sit flat and smooth on the body. They tend to roll, bunch, or ripple, especially when you move, sit, or bend. Every little gather or crease is a visual imperfection that adds perceived volume. Look at yourself from the side in the mirror when wearing elastic waist pants and notice how the waistband creates that uneven line that sticks out. Third, the wider the elastic waistband, the worse the effect. Those 5 or 6 centimeter wide waistbands with exposed elastic create a huge horizontal band that literally cuts you in half visually. They divide your torso in an unflattering way and draw all the attention to your midsection. The eye goes straight to that wide band and reads it as volume. The most problematic type is sweatpants with very tight elastic. The fluffy, voluminous fabric of sweatpants gathers right above the elastic because it can't fall naturally. This creates that ballooning belly effect even when the pants aren't tight on the legs. You end up with all that soft fabric bunched and projecting forward. The alternative isn't necessarily eliminating elastic altogether because it does provide real comfort. The trick is to look for styles where the elastic is encased and hidden within a structured waistband. Pants that look like they have a traditional waistband, but with internal elastic at the back, keep the front smooth and elongated while still offering flexibility. Another important detail is width. Thinner waistbands, around 2 to 3 centimeters, create far less visual impact than those wide bands. And if the pants have a drawstring in addition to the elastic, even better, because you control the pressure instead of relying on a preset elastic that might be too tight. 2. Pants with front pleats. Pleats at the front of pants are those vertical folds that start at the waist and go down toward the legs. They exist in many types of pants: classic tailoring, palazzo pants, some cargo styles, dressier options, and even stylish casual pieces. The problem is that pleats are literally extra fabric folded and stitched. And that extra fabric sits exactly where you least need additional volume. Each pleat creates an extra layer of material that projects forward from the body. When you face the mirror, those folds add depth and dimension to the abdominal area. 2 pleats mean 4 layers of fabric in some spots. It's pure physics. More fabric stacked equals more visual bulk. On men wearing suits, this works because it adds width to narrow hips without tightening. On women, especially those who already have some natural volume in the belly or hips, pleats amplify that volume dramatically. The worst scenario is wide and multiple pleats. Some pants have 2 or even 3 pleats on each side, creating that accordion effect that literally adds centimeters to your silhouette when viewed from the front. Even when you're standing still, the pleats create shadows and depth that make the area look wider and more pronounced. When you move or sit, the pleats open even more, revealing all those layers of folded fabric. Pleated palazzo pants are especially tricky because they combine two volume-adding elements, pleats at the waist and wide legs. The result is a silhouette that starts voluminous at the belly and stays voluminous all the way down to the feet. You completely lose any definition or visual reference point that helps understand where your body actually is within all that fabric. Tailored pleated trousers might look elegant in fashion magazines, but in real life, for real bodies, they rarely flatter anyone trying to minimize the belly. Unless you're very tall, very slim, and with a completely flat abdomen, pleats will create projection where you don't want it.
The solution is always to look for pants with a completely flat front. Flat front tailored pants exist and are infinitely more flattering. Flat front palazzo pants elongate and slim far more effectively than pleated ones. If the pants absolutely must have some pleat for construction reasons, make it a single, very subtle, well-placed pleat, not those multiple deep ones that create obvious volume.
Look at the pants from the side in the mirror and see if the pleats project forward. If they do, leave them in the store. 3. Jeans that enhance the belly. Jeans deserve an entire category because there are at least 4 different ways denim can make your stomach look bigger, and you often wear jeans that combine 2 or 3 of these problems at once without realizing it. The first problem is the wash. Light washes reflect light and advance visually, while dark areas recede and minimize. When your jeans have faded areas, those white whiskers or concentrated light wash on the front of the thighs and belly, that entire light area is being highlighted and visually enlarged. Your eye is automatically drawn to where the contrast and brightness are. So if the lightness is concentrated on your stomach and front hips, that's where everyone's eyes go first. Uniform dark wash jeans, or those with subtle fading on the sides and back, create a much smoother, more recessed front. Especially avoid jeans with fan-shaped whiskers coming from the front pockets and concentrating on the lower abdomen. They literally draw arrows pointing to your stomach. The second problem is the rise height. Low-rise jeans are back in fashion, but they do no favors for anyone with any abdominal volume. The low waist cuts you right across the widest part of most women's bellies, leaving that whole area exposed and unsupported. A waistband positioned below your natural waist offers no containment or coverage, it just highlights. Mid-rise jeans can be even worse, cutting through the middle without providing the benefits of a high-rise or the trendy look of a low one. To minimize the belly, high-waisted jeans always work best because they create a long vertical line and offer real support. The third problem is the fabric. Jeans with too much elastane, those super stretch ones that feel like leggings, show absolutely everything, and for Jiv, nothing. They cling to the body like a second skin and outline every curve, every fold, everything happening in the abdominal area. When you sit, the overly stretchy fabric pulls and creates creases that draw even more attention. More structured denim with some stretch for comfort but not excessive creates a layer that glides over the body and smooths gently instead of clinging and marking everything. The fourth problem is the skinny fit specifically. Ultra-tight skinny jeans combined with a mid or low rise and thin fabric are the perfect combination to highlight your belly. You get compression without support, tightness without structure, and a cut at the wrong height. If you love skinnies, they only work with a high waist and quality structured fabric. The solution for jeans that don't enlarge the stomach: choose a dark, even wash, always high-waisted with structured fabric, not that super stretch legging-like type, and a straight or slightly tapered cut instead of extreme skinny. High-waisted dark wash straight jeans are practically foolproof for creating a long, smooth front silhouette. 4. Low-rise pants in general. Regardless of the type of pants, when the rise is low, you're automatically working against your silhouette. This applies to jeans, tailored pants, palazzos, leggings, cargos, literally any style. Low rise creates visual and physical issues that simply have no fix within that cut. Visually, the low waist cuts you in the wrong proportion. It divides your body at a point that shortens the torso and leaves the whole abdominal area exposed with no structure or support. Instead of creating a long vertical line from rib cage to hip, it interrupts that line midway, drawing attention to the widest part of many women. The lower the rise, the more obvious and problematic this cut becomes. Physically, low rise provides no containment at all, while high rise naturally supports and smooths the belly by simply covering and lightly compressing the area. Low rise leaves everything loose and free. Any existing volume becomes completely visible because there's no fabric helping to smooth or structure it. You're relying entirely on your body with no help from your clothing. The problem is even more noticeable when you sit down. Low-rise pants tend to slip even lower when you bend, exposing your back and making the belly spill even more over the waistband. You end up constantly pulling your pants up, trying to keep some coverage, which gives that impression of discomfort and ill-fitting clothes. Low-rise palazzo pants are the worst case because they combine the problematic waist with very wide legs. All that leg volume starts at exactly the wrong height, creating a silhouette that widens from the stomach down to the feet with no definition or contrast.
You lose any elongation and end up with a heavy look from the hips downward. Even on very slim women with flat stomachs, low rise rarely creates a silhouette as flattering as high or mid-rise. The difference lies in proportion and elongation. High rise creates that beautiful vertical line that elongates the torso, defines the waist, and makes the legs look longer. Low rise does exactly the opposite. It shortens the torso, eliminates waist definition, and makes the legs look shorter. If you're buying new pants, always choose high rise or at least mid to high rise. Unless you have a very specific body and height, low rise will work against you in most situations. 5. Pants with details and prints on the front. Any visual element that draws attention to the abdominal area works against you if your goal is to minimize that region. This includes a huge variety of details that often go unnoticed when shopping, but make a big difference in the final look. Decorative or very visible front pockets are some of the worst offenders.
Those pockets with flaps, buttons, visible zippers, or embroidery create horizontal and vertical lines right on the belly and hips. Even stitching that outlines where a pocket would be, even if it's fake, breaks the smooth front line and creates a focal point where you don't want attention. Very shallow front pockets are also problematic because they show through even when empty, creating shadow and texture where the surface should be smooth. Horizontal prints like stripes, colored bands, or any pattern running side to side at waist height create automatic visual width.
The human eye naturally follows lines, so horizontal ones make you look wider exactly where they appear. Even decorative horizontal seams, contrasting stitching, or straight-cut panels crossing the stomach add visual centimeters. Embellishments like sequins, embroidery, studs, rhinestones, or any raised detailing on the front add literal and visual dimension. These elements create texture and depth, making the area project forward. Anything that reflects light or shines also visually enlarges, so pans with metallic details, satin, patent, or shiny finishes on the front highlight and enlarge that area. Built-in belts or contrasting waistbands, especially when wide or in a color very different from the rest of the pants, create that horizontal division that cuts the silhouette. Instead of a long vertical line, you get a break that draws attention to width rather than height. Even the type of stitching makes a difference. Very thick seams, contrasting top stitching, or decorative stitches that create patterns on the front add visual interest where you want invisibility. The ideal front of the pants is smooth, with no visible seams beyond the essential and discreet ones. The general rule is, if there's any decorative detail on the pants, it should be on the back pockets, side seams, or hem, never on the front from waist to hip. That area needs to be as clean and uniform as possible to create elongation and minimize bulk. 6. Pants that are too tight in unstructured fabric. Tightening isn't the solution to hiding your belly, quite the opposite. Extremely tight pants made of unstructured fabric highlight everything, create uncomfortable compression, and often make the belly spill over instead of containing it. This includes very thin leggings, skinny jeans made of legging-like stretch material, cigarette pants in flimsy knits, and any style that's basically painted onto the body. The problem lies in two factors: compression and lack of fabric structure. When you wear pants that are too tight, they compress the abdominal area, but don't offer real support. The compression pushes the skin and body tissue up and down from the waistband line, creating that characteristic spillover. You get a deep mark where the pants squeeze and bulges above and below that point. It's the same principle as tying a string around a cushion. The cushion bulges out on both sides of the string. The lack of fabric structure means it doesn't glide over the body to create a smoothing layer. Instead, it clings like a second skin, outlining every curve, every imperfection, every little thing happening there. Very stretchy, thin fabrics have no memory or resistance, so they simply adapt completely to what they touch, offering no containment or smoothing. Skinny pants made of legging-type fabric are especially problematic when combined with a mid-rise waist. You get leg and thigh compression, but a cut that leaves the belly exposed exactly at the most critical point. The contrast between super tight legs and an unsupported belly becomes even more noticeable. Workout leggings, the kind you wear at the gym, are made for performance and movement, not for creating a lengthened silhouette in everyday life. The fabric is purposely stretchy and clingy to allow freedom of movement, but that means zero structure and zero camouflage. The solution isn't necessarily to give up tighter pants, but to choose ones with fabric that has structure and body. Real denim, even the tighter ones, has the weight and stiffness of cotton that creates a layer between you and the world. Twill pants, tailored trousers with some but not excessive stretch, double fabrics, or tightly woven materials create that soft support effect without uncomfortable compression. And if you need or want to wear leggings, choose styles with real compression, like shapewear, not those common thin knit leggings. Compression leggings have enough structure to actually smooth and support instead of just cling and mark. Notice that none of these problems have anything to do with your body not fitting certain pants. It's about choosing styles that work for you instead of against you. The difference between feeling good and feeling uncomfortable about your stomach often lies in design details you can start noticing from now on. Next time you shop for pants, remember these categories and test them critically in the mirror. You'll immediately notice which styles add volume and which ones create elongation, and your choices will become infinitely better.